Hello fellow investor, in this new video I'm going to review 10 of the most popular portfolio trackers. Tracking your portfolio is extremely important, especially if you are a dividend investor, because there are high chances that the broker you are using doesn't have enough tool to track your dividend or to show anyway how the evolution of the dividend is, because stockbrokers are in general more focused on the buy and trade point of view. If you want to be on top of your game, you want to see how change the performance of your portfolio and especially your dividend year over year, how is going to be your income, when you will receive your dividends, stuff like that, you must use some external resource. As you can see from the table right here, these are the 10 portfolio tracker I tested. I bet that none of you tested all of them, so I lost a lot of time to do it, and I will try to understand which are the good and the bad side, and I will put inside this table so that at the end we can try to see which one is the best. So let's start with the first one. If you are active in the Twitter dividend investing community, most probably you heard about Portseido. This is one of the most used dividend tracker. It's a very solid choice. As you can see right here, this is the dashboard, let's say the performance of my portfolio. I want to remark that even if I insert all my transactions, I didn't pay for the premium service, so they will track only the 50 first trades I did. This is why the level of my portfolio is so low. Anyway, this is the performance compared with the S&P 500, also compared with with other benchmark. We can see the return of my holding by day, week, month, year, and so on. This is the core part with all my holding, the allocation, price. This is just general stuff, but it's quite very well done. If we click on allocation right here, we go some into detail about how the allocation of the portfolio, different stock, different sector, industry, country, and so on. Clicking on dividend is the most, of course, interesting part. We have the statistic of the portfolio, dividend calendar, and the upcoming dividends. So we see each month how much money we're supposed to get in dividend. We can check it also annually, so we take the statistic of the previous year. And this is the in more detail, stock by stock, how much and when we will get paid. There is also interest in the goal tracker, which is track the goal of our investment. So if, for example, we start and we decide to have a goal to have an additional contribution of, $2,000 per month with a contribution growth 10% year over year, if we calculate, we see what will be the status of our portfolio on the long run, and this is a nice tool. Nothing more. What we need to say is that is it a bit pricey? I will compare all these portfolio tracker price on monthly basis, not on annual one, just to have a clear picture. So we're talking about $10 a month if we want up to 200 transactions. But for example, I have much more. I need the pro version, which is $15 a month. It's quite a lot. The free version limited to 50 transactions is, in my opinion, completely useless. So these are the details. It misses the broker integration, so you need to insert transaction, uploading a file or doing one by one, which will take years in my case. No news on the stock, no stock analysis, no mobile app, no special asset. For special asset, I mean possibility to insert something that is not just a dividend stock, but for example, cryptocurrency, if you have a bond, if you have for example, an apartment or some real estate to generate some income and you want to keep it track, you cannot do with Portseido. Let's move to the second in the list, which is Dividend Watch. Dividend Watch is another very popular dividend tracker in the investing community. If you are again in Twitter, CommonStock or places like this, a lot of people are using it, and they are right, because it's a very well done tool. This is a dashboard of my portfolio. This is the performance, and this is the holding. I like how it's done. Graphically, it's very, very well done. This holding table is highly customizable, so we can add all the information we want. We have also news and event about your portfolio. So if you click right here, you can see all the news related to the stock in your portfolio. This is pretty good. It's very similar to Seeking Alpha from some point of view. Here in the dividend tab, we can see the evolution of the dividend from 2017, when this portfolio started, up to now. And we can see it monthly to see how much I will get each month with the detail of date of the pay date, number of share, amount of payout, and so on. We have also the calendar, which is the most important tool in my opinion, and this one is done very, very good because apart from being graphically very nice, it tells you all the dividend payout, but it also tells you when there are the earnings report. Earnings reports are critical if you are a dividend investor, I mean if you are an investor in general. So it's nice to see that having calendar when there will be the earning report of my company in order I can go and check it out. For example, if we move to July, because we are almost at the end of June, you see that the second quarter earnings season is starting and you see how many will report the earnings around the end of July. So very well done. There is also the part related to diversification, even if it was a little better in my opinion in Portseido, sector, industry, exchange, stock, and so on. And what I need to say is very good, the transaction tab. When you use one of these portfolio tracker, you need to import your transaction. You can do it in different way. You can do manually, you can upload some Excel file. In this case, on Dividend Watch, you can do in both way, manually with the Excel file, but I need to say the process to upload the Excel file is made very, very easy by Dividend Watch because it's done in different steps and it really guides to the import and there is no margin for error. Also, you can set up a portfolio. For example, if we do new portfolio, you see we can decide to have it on transaction basis, so importing all transaction. As a simply stat, so without history, so only with your holding, so you just import your holding, and you can do it in even linking your portfolio with a supported broker. They have a few brokers that they are using. If you use one of them, you can decide to do in such a way. So going back to our table, basically Dividend Watch have everything. It means the goal tracker, no mobile app, no special asset. For the rest is a yes. $8 a month if you want the premium version. Let's move to Propelor, that I'm sure many of you never heard about. Propelor is a very, very simple dividend tracker. I will not even call a portfolio tracker, but it's more a dividend tracker because it doesn't take track of your portfolio during the time. It's just make a snapshot of the situation right now and give you this is the projected income you have. So it's very nice done, but very simple. For example, June I will take dividend from Broadcom. If we click on July, we see the other stocks and so on. As you can see, the value of portfolios is very small because I didn't upload all my holdings. I just wanted to do some example. It was a service that came out around 2-3 years ago. It's still in beta, so for this reason you cannot join. I mean, you need to join the waiting list, and after you get access to the platform, which is completely free. So it is good. This is the portfolio view. You see, I can add a portfolio if I want. I can link. And we'll done with Plaid if I'm not mistaken. Let's check again because I did a lot of, yeah, it was done with Plaid. So they connect to your stockbroker with Plaid, or otherwise you just insert the stock by yourself. And this is the dashboard. Let's say this is the portfolio holding. Really very simple, not much information over there. Take in consideration that if it doesn't take the history of your trade, but just the actual snapshot, there are so much things that you cannot have it. So you cannot, for example, track how is going your investment over time. As I said, really simple, but it lacks so many functionalities. Yeah, it has the broker integration, dividend calendar is well done. So unless you need just these two features, for the other thing, it lacks of almost everything, but you know, it's free. This is the good part. I learned about Getquin just a few days ago. I mean, it's quite a new portfolio tracker, but to be honest, it's a little bit more than a portfolio tracker. This is a simple dashboard. I didn't want to upload all my transactions, but anyway, it works transaction basis, so you can see the history of your portfolio. And if we add also a new portfolio, you see there is the broker integration. So if we want, we can have the broker integration. Nice view, I mean a nice dashboard. This is all the position. You see a already that there are, for example, Bitcoin, so it's possible to add additional asset, like as I said, for example, cryptocurrency or some other income generating asset which are not a dividend stock. This is the performance of your portfolio right here, and the dividends you see are divided year over year, so you see how it progresses over the year. If you click on a single year, you have the split by months. It's quite nice. You can also have a forecast. Now I don't pay the premium version, so here you see will be a little bit more customizable, will be more information, but anyway, this is just to have an idea of how things are going. And these are all the transactions. A big difference between all the other portfolio tracker and Getquin is that this is also a sort of social network, because if you click on home, you see that there are articles. I mean, it's a sort of like Twitter, CommonStock, people are writing, are commenting, and so on. I don't like that much. I prefer my dividend tracker to be just dividend tracker. But for example, if you click on here on, I don't know, Procter & Gamble, let's take a company who paid the dividend. You see this is the sheet of the stock. Here are all articles from people, so if you want to read it, or if you click on dividend, you will see the dividend history, the next dividend payment, and your individual dividend history, some analyst rating, and some other information. It's very well done. I like a lot. Honestly, it was a very nice discover, this Getquin. If we check the price, is also very cheap. This is what surprised me. If we go on monthly, is less than €5 per month, which is $5.5 at the time, something like that. It's probably one of the cheapest. So Getquin has it everything. It doesn't have news on your stock, but it has an article of people. I mean, of course, not the same thing, but maybe some of you will be interested in some sort of social platform, and it's quite cheap. Also, it has the mobile app. Getquin will be the only one with a native mobile app of the all one I'm going to review right now. I think it's pretty important, especially if you like to access your portfolio from mobile a lot. Beanvest is a very new dividend tracker. It born a little bit more than 1 year ago. As you can see, I upload just a few of my transactions on my full portfolio. Anyway, it looks very nice. I like the graphic of Beanvest a lot, really a lot. It shows you the return of your portfolio. You can have this is a very customizable table. You can insert whatever you want it. If we go on performance, we can see the performance of the portfolio during the years. Of course, in this case, I didn't pay for the subscription, so we see only the 2023, the performance of each month. Here are all the transactions for the period. Okay, all transactions, sorry. This is the one I inserted. Again, you can insert it manually in Beanvest. You can unfortunately link only one broker, which is the Giro, because Beanvest is a European product. So it's the first thing they did is to integrate the Giro, which is one of the most popular broker in the European Union. Later to come, probably interactive broker and so on. We have allocation of your portfolio according to country, currency, asset, sector. I mean, the basic. You can also have the benchmark with the S&P 500 or with other index, but again, I need to upgrade. I will not do for the moment. Also information about news on your stock. This is very nice. I like when dividend trackers give you also news, because you don't need to use another service to get the news. For example, you use one dividend tracker, and after you need, for example, Seeking Alpha or Yahoo Finance. I mean, it's good to have everything into one platform only. Unfortunately, what you see right here that is missing is the dividend tracking. So I know this is a dividend tracker, but as I said, this is still in beta. They are developing. If we go right here, this is the roadmap of the feature that they want to add, and the next one is the dividend calendar that we hope they will do pretty soon. After will be broker synchronization, cash account, and so on. So I decided to insert Beanvest in my list because I think it's very well done, and it also has something interesting. For example, some tool like the discounted cash flow. I will show you briefly how it works. If we add, for example, one stock, let's take Procter & Gamble right here. It gives you a model created with the discount cash flow valuation. So it tells you, according to the model, if the stock is overvalued or undervalued. Of course, you can change your parameter by yourself. Is a beta. Also, they're saying it's a beta. I personally don't take too much advice from the software on my investment, but this is something nice. If you are really into discounted cash flow, this system can help you to get your analysis a little bit quicker. So going back to my table right here, Beanvest I cannot suggest at the moment, honestly. If you want it for free, okay, to pay $10 a month is not worth it right now. At least they need first to implement the dividend tracking, because the lack of the dividend tracking and the dividend calendar is a little bit problematic. But apart from that, very solid app, and I like when there comes some new one in the market. I try to give some credit. I try to take a look because I want a new player in the field. Let's move to Track Your Dividend. Track Your Dividend is a very solid choice. This is a website I was using for a long time, and I always use it for free because it has advertisement. So okay, it's not very nice. You need to close it time by time, but it's very well done and basically give almost all the functionality for free. So you can import your portfolio, you can connect your stockbroker, or you can add your holding manually. Unfortunately, Track Your Dividend doesn't keep the history of your transaction. So it's not transaction based, it's only holding based. So it gives you the snapshot of your portfolio at the date time, but you don't see the evolution of it. So this is the whole portfolio taken directly from Interactive Broker, portfolio yield on cost, annual income, the beta of your portfolio. There is also the dividend safety that you can get if you are a paid user. In this case, I am not. If we go to the diversification, this is a very nice tab. I like to see my portfolio highly diversified like that. Again, advertisement is a little bit problematic, but come on, if you don't pay what you want, at least something you need to give. Upcoming dividend, this is let's say the dividend calendar, very well done. This is divided by months, and right here you have all the stock and payment by each month. This is a very nice tab. You have also the calendar and the upcoming dividend, by one to see when you should get it. Also, it has other tools like the future value of your investment. You can calculate by yourself. You can decide what is the, for example, if we think about a 5% appreciation, a maximum dividend yield of 10, and a dividend growth of 4, let's be a bit lower, and giving anyway a $10,000 contribution per year, you can update the chart and you see where is going my investment on the long run. Moving on, there are also in the research tab some information about stock analysis. They make some list of good dividend, but all of this is for premium user only. Anyway, I need to say the premium user is not that expensive. It's $9 a month, almost 10, and this is what you get. So very solid choice, Track Your Dividend, especially if you want to start for free, because it gives you all the functionality you want. For me, the biggest issue is the miss of the cost history, because it's not, as I said, it's not transaction based, so you don't know how evolve your portfolio during time. You have just the situation at today. For some people is enough. I prefer to have it this evolution. So apart from that, it's probably the best one if you are not into the cost based on the transaction mode. So position number 7 in the list is Snowball Analytics. Snowball Analytics, first of all, I love the name because it recalls what is the snowball effect, which is the interest compounding effect. If you don't know what it is and you are a dividend investor, check this video right here because it's a very important notion to know. Anyway, it's a demo portfolio in this stage. I didn't want to load all my transaction, but it worked transaction based. So it has the history of all your transaction. Very clean graphic. As you can see, you can have not just stocks, but also other type of asset in your portfolio, and you can also load asset by yourself. Multi-currency, news about your stocks. If you check right here, these are all the news related to the stock on your portfolio. I said before, this is something I really like. Future payment of the dividend received up to now, the dividend grow according to the different months and different year, and also your portfolio targets, so the forecast of your portfolio. Let's move to the holding to see how is done the holding dashboard. It's pretty nice, clean. It gives you also the dividend rating, so this is information about how safe and how reliable is the dividend of different stocks. If we go under analytics, we can see more information right here. If we go under dividend, we see the rating, you see how much reliable the dividend is for a different company, the average annual growth. I mean, all this information are very well presented and they are very exhaustive. We can see also the portfolio grow over time comparing to the S&P 500, so the performance month by month or year by year, I mean, whatever we want. It's very well done. Let's move to the dividend calendar, which is another core part of the app. I like the statistic that they tell you how much you get monthly and also technically daily. These are the dividend expected in the next 12 months, so like 1 year ahead. If we go back to 2023, we see what we already received, what is declared, and what is estimated for the future. With here all the dividend paid, or I mean in the list for the future. Very solid choice, and I need to say that is also the one of the cheapest, because with the starter pack with less than $8 a month, you basically get everything you need. Yes, you have only 5 custom holdings, so if you have a lot of assets in your portfolio that are not exactly stocks, you probably need the investor one, which is much more expensive to have unlimited custom holding. But for me, for my portfolio, unlimited holding and 1 portfolio is more than enough. So if I will choose exactly the starter pack. Going back right here, we see that it's probably the most complete of all. Is also one of the cheapest. Unfortunately, no mobile app, but I said before, the only tracker with the mobile app is Getquin, and that's because, as I said, it's more of a social app, so it really requires the mobile app. Anyway, many of them work pretty good from the mobile browser, and Snowball Analytics is one of them. Sharesight is probably one of the most famous dividend tracker and one of the first who came out with the dividend tracking idea. It's a company around for a long time, and if you search on Google on Bing dividend tracker, this is probably the one that you get the most, because they always advertise over there. It's a very clean and solid choice, but it has some problem, and I will try to explain why. This is my dividend portfolio. I mean, I inserted all transactions, so again, it's transaction based. You can insert with Excel file manually, or you can connect your stockbroker, and they support really a lot of broker. This is a very good selling point. This is your portfolio with the benchmark with the S&P 500. You can decide to edit. So these are all your stocks, the value of your stock, the quantity, the actual return, this kind of information. If we go on the report, this is where there are the core report you can get from this app. At the moment, I'm using even if you say that I need to upgrade, I'm using the free trial. So I upgraded with a 7-day free trial that after I will cancel, because I will not keep. I know it's very bad. I wanted to see all the functionality, and this is what I feel a bit lack of functionality. For example, is the future income. Here is where we're supposed to see all the future dividend that we are going to get, like we saw in all other dividend trackers. So we have division by month, by year, and so on. On Sharesight, this is the only information we get. So this is basically the pay date, and there's a list. That's it. There is no, at least I didn't find, but really was not possible to find it. If somebody uses Sharesight and please write me in the comment how to do it, because it's not enough. I don't see a correct calendar. I don't see how the dividend is growing year over year. I mean, it's give you more an overview of your portfolio, which is great, and it has also some very interesting report. For example, you can have the taxable income, which many of you may need it. Let's see, for example, under the performance, here we see the performance of the different stock grouped by Nasdaq or NYSE, I mean, according where the stock exchange. I mean, it has a lot of functionalities, but none of them is correctly represented graphically from my point of view, comparing to Dividend Watch or Snowball Analytics, or basically all the one we saw before. And it's also very expensive, because if we go on a monthly basis plan, to have unlimited holding already, which is probably the basic, is $24 a month. It's really too much. Going back to my table right here, we see that we have dividend synchronization, news, we have the calendar, even if I don't consider it done very well, cost history, a lack of analytic, a lack of forecast, no mobile app, no special asset. $24 a month is really too much. I like this company. I mean, to be honest, I really like what they did for dividend investing community. I know that so many people are using, but right now there is better alternative out there, in my opinion. Going on to the next one is SimpliSafe Dividends. This is a very famous website, and it's not 100% correct to call just a dividend tracker. I will explain you why. SimpliSafe Dividend is more of a financial advisor in some sort of way, because yes, you keep track of your portfolio. For example, you can have these are your holdings, you have information about the diversification of your portfolio, you can check the forecast of the income, you have the income calendar, so you know when you will get your dividend. So all the basic things that track your portfolio, and is done on transaction basis. So you need to add a transaction by transaction, means you have the cost history, so you have the full performance of your portfolio. But the reason why it's so popular is not because of the dividend tracking part, but is about their score that they call the dividend safety. The dividend safety is the proprietary score of SimpliSafe Dividend that tell you which stock in your portfolio are safe from dividend point of view. So which one are more risky? For example, these are all safe. If we go right here, Kotor Brand, 3M, WestRock, they consider it borderline. If we click on one of them, we have a full analysis of the stock and on the safety of the dividend. I will not enter too much into detail, but it tells you the payment detail of your dividend, timeline, all the financial, and they explain why they can consider one stock to be safer than the other from dividend point of view. So if you are into that, if you want a website that in some way alert you when one of your stock become, let's say, unsafe, according of course to their standard, this is the right choice, because people are buying this service, which is quite expensive. It's almost $500 a year. There is no monthly payment. You just need to take and buy. Okay, it has 6 days fully refundable, but honestly, how many of you buy something and after ask the full refund? I mean, for me, I never do it. It's a very solid choice. It gives you also some investment idea. So their team research the stock and they come up with investment ideas. So for example, stock that I consider. So for example, they have the Dividend Aristocrat. For example, they give you all the stock that are increasing the dividend for at least 25 years with the safety score. It's not just, as I said, it's not just a dividend tracker. It's something a little more advanced who help you in the investment choice. So if you trust them, if you want to have some confirmation or some guidance from the team of SimpliSafe Dividend, this is something you don't find in all the other portfolio trackers. So you are forced, of course, to go to SimpliSafe Dividend, which is a very, very solid choice. I really like it. The problem, in my opinion, is also the price. I don't like to spend so much money for such service. I can agree that making a good investment decision can save you much more than $500, but at my stage in this moment, I don't want to do it. Last in the list is Stock.Div, which I'm 100% sure you never heard about. Stock.Div is the first dividend tracker I ever used in in my life. When I started doing dividend investing, I was searching for a tracker and I found Stock.Div. At the time it was not this interface, it was a Windows program, so you just download, install of your computer, and you do all your tracking, you insert all transactions and so on directly in the software. It was very nice, but after a while they switched to the web version because of course it's more easy to use and it gives less problem than just to download the software. Unfortunately, as you can see right here, the user interface and the graphics is quite outdated, but I promise you the level of detail you will find in this dividend tracker is unmatched from all the others. You have the statistic of your portfolio, so the 12-month projection, the income you receive stock by stock, the projection of your portfolio with or without the dividend reinvesting, diversification, and so on. If we go on the click it on, you see it's done a little bit better, I don't know why. If we click on the asset, here we see all the assets in my portfolio. As you can see, this is not my full portfolio, I just uploaded something just to populate and to show you. It's very well done. Again, graphically not very nice, but look at the level of information. You have everything you need right here, so you can see stock by stock. If you click on one stock, for example, it tells you what was invested, the market value, the actual loss, and so on. Information about what happened to the stock at the time, the price, the dividend level, all the dividend distribution, the news. I mean, it's quite full of information. It's just presented a little bit outdated. Going back, we have also, of course, the monthly payment. So we have the calendar where we see each payment we are going to get. We can see X dividend date or pay date, whatever we want. And in the yearly matrix payment, we can see, this is a very popular view that are in many different dividend trackers. You have all the months, you have all the asset, and you see each payment when you get and which months you get. Unfortunately, as I said, it's not very well done from graphic point of view. It's a bit annoying to use it. It's not very user friendly, but there is a good side. It's completely free. This software work on donation model, so if you like it, you can donate. It doesn't have broker integration. You need to insert your transaction one by one or with the Excel file. I need to say, comparing, for example, to Dividend Watch, that is probably the best one when it comes to importing transaction, in my opinion. Stock.Div is pretty difficult to do because you need to customize the Excel file exactly how Stock.Div wants, so you need to do a little bit of work in Excel. Anyway, it's free, so when things are free we cannot complain too much. After testing all of them, if I need to choose one and only one, I think my choice will be the Snowball Analytics. Not because it's just the most complete according to the table I drew it, but it's also one of the cheapest. I don't like to spend too much of my dividend in some fancy software. Spending $200-300 a year is not okay for me, so I think that my choice will go with Snowball Analytics. Anyway, I have to say that apart from SimpliSafe Dividend, which is not exactly a dividend tracker because what you pay for is not the tracking system but is the proprietary research and their analysis, their suggestion, these kind of things. All the other one work quite fine. They always have more or less the same functionality and you can track quite well your portfolio in all of them. If I need to choose a second one apart from Snowball Analytics, maybe my choice will be Dividend Watch that I showed also in some previews of my video. I know there are so many other that I didn't test, I didn't take in consideration for this review, especially I didn't talk at all about the mobile only application. There are a few of them that are very good but work only from mobile. Maybe I will do another video later on. So for this video is all. Let me know which one you use, or if you have a question, let me know anyway in the comment. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't do it because it helps a lot, and see you to the next video.